Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. Hanni here, and finally today is the day when I get to do the interview with the lovely Susanna Salo, the creator of the Mythologia Fennica Tarot. So, thank you, Susanna.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This is an amazing opportunity, not just for me to meet you, but also for you guys back there, because you got the opportunity to ask your questions to Susanna, and we get to hear all the answers from the source itself. So I thought that first, if you could introduce you to the guys, because maybe they don't know you so well.
Yeah. So hello, my name is Susanna, and I am the creator of this Mythologia Fennica Tarot and CONTANCT, the Finnish version. So I'm a Finnish mythology tarot lady.
And that's an awesome combination.
Yeah. So I do these tarot cards and
you also do tarot readings, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
So you just don't create, you actually use the product.
Sure, yeah. I made them to be used, so just not only for myself but to others too. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So, if we jump into the question straight away, because I know you guys are eager to hear what Susanna has to say about your questions. So first, we'll start the question. I hope you guys don't mind, because I'm going to say each one of your names, but anybody can see your names in the comment box, so we don't care. So the first question from James from US is like, what is your history of using tarot?
My history, I was quite a little kid when I was first using tarot card that my grandma had. And they were the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot cards, and I started with them. And also we made, like with normal playing cards, we did spreads with normal playing cards as well. And she could read of hand and this kind of weird things that she had. So I was kind of like, I got something from her, and she kind of put the sparkle inside me that I was into these things as well. So that's my history. But then of course I have been using tarot cards for many years after that, and I did use those tarot cards and all kinds of oracle and different kinds of animal cards and all of those.
Yeah.
So
the normal whole shebang.
Oh yes.
That's quite normal.
Yeah.
So it was your grandma?
Yeah, grandma was the
How did your parents feel about that? Were they like hesitant? Don't show that to a child, or?
No way. No. They were really like free spirits and open-minded. Although they were more like, well, that silly grandma is, But they are having fun with Susanna, so whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't really care.
Yeah, but your mom, for example, didn't do tarot.
No way.
Oh,
no.
You were blessed with a great grandma.
Oh yeah.
But actually, what you said answered kind of the second question also. Claire was asking, what is your story with tarot? And did you start with Marseille right away or Thoth? And is there one of the systems that your tarot follow? So, where do you base the Mythologia Fennica? Because you just said that you've been using the whole shebang.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's actually a mix of many kinds of cards. Their systems. First, it was an oracle deck. I started as an oracle deck.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was starting with the creatures of the forest and the water and what we have in Finnish mythology. That was the which I started to work with, and the animal cards and those. But later I just the Kalevala team came more and more in part there, and then I started to do also the Kalevala cards more. But that was like many years of study So first many years of study with the creatures and the animals, and then many years more with Kalevala. So it's like it took 7 years to make this.
But I saw that when I first got my Finnish book, the Ukonpakka, and I saw the list behind the book of all the resources Susanna had used. I was totally blown away because I realized how many hours she has been reading and studying and going into the archives and searching for the background knowledge. So, but the deck is combination, so it isn't right away it's made. It isn't a tough.
No, but it still has like the system that's pretty much related with those. But also I used, as an inspiration, I used this Osho Zen Tarot, which is quite like, I don't know, it is also in a form of a normal tarot deck, but I think the card, the names of the cards, they are not pretty much at all like go together with the normal tarot system.
That's actually a deck that I don't have, so I can't say anything. I've never seen the deck in nature.
Yeah, I think that was one of the inspiration decks that why I started to make these cards, because I bought that deck and I was playing with those cards with my boyfriend, back in the days boyfriend, and then we just started to like think of our own cards, like what would they be like. He told me a story about some dude that lives in Tampere, a city in Finland.
Quite near where I live, guys.
Yeah, and he had made his own cards. And my boyfriend said that he's carrying them with him in a suitcase like this. So I got the idea, like, wow, someone has made his own cards and with his own like ideas and everything. And then I started to like make my own cards. I realized that okay, this is something that I'm gonna like grab into. And at that point I was very much interested in the Finnish mythology and Kalevala and everything, but I did not know too much of it. I was just in the beginning of like...
You didn't know where you were going to push your head in.
No,
you didn't know how deep it is.
I had no idea and how long it would take. And at the beginning I had no idea that one day it's gonna be published and you know in different languages and these kind of things will happen. I had no idea. I was just making, that was my like goal. I want that same suitcase that he had and carry my own cards, you know. Then later,
it was small enough goal. You didn't think that you have to conquer the world.
No way, no.
And to give you guys some contrast, people don't do tarot decks here in Finland like they do, like for example in US. They are coming from every corner.
Yeah.
But here, it isn't a thing.
No. Actually, after my cards were published, then there has been more Finnish people that make cards themselves too. So
there are a few, but we're still talking about really small numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, and if we continue, question from Julie. Which came first, love of the mythology or love of tarot? And at what point did these two merge for you and inspire you to create your deck?
That's a tough question.
It is, and a huge one.
Well, I think that tarot must have come first because I was such a little kid when I was playing with my grandma, and that's pretty much like how the tarot came in my life, but the mythology as well, because I used to love the tales of animals and like tontus, these gnomes, and other creatures of the nature when I was a kid. So I was already like in love with all those fairies and what we have in our mythology. But to be like, when I really started to be serious about learning the mythology, not just reading some old children tale books, but really like go to the archives and study. Then that is so the tarot came first. Yeah. And why they combined it together, it was just so clear to me when I got the idea that I'm gonna make my own cards. I felt that there's no other way than, there was nothing else that inspired me like Finnish mythology and Kalevala and those creatures and those stories. So that was like, I had to do it.
And good that you had, because now we finally have after so many years the final product. And then we had a question from David about what inspired you to create this tarot deck, but I guess we touched on that point already.
Yeah, the guy with the suitcase. It was such a fun idea to me. Like, we were just drinking some wine, and like I had bought the Osho 10 tarot deck that time. And we were like, wow, this is so awesome, and these cards are so different, because I had been using Thoth and Rider-Waite, and the systems are quite similar, although there are differences, but they are still the same kind of tarot cards. So that Osho tarot card was something else. It was just like, well, why couldn't anyone make tarot cards and make just some nice cards there and some ideas and so on. So that was like just like this, and it was in 2010. When it happened.
Just 10 years.
Yeah. What a coincidence! Just like that. Just like that. We actually had a little fight, unless because I think without that little fight, I don't know if I had gone so far. But I got like really angry at him. I was like, oh shit, this is not like, because he said that the next day when I had drawn my first card, like, woohoo, it's gonna be this white deer, and oh look, I had done this, and he was like, you have stolen my idea. And he said, you can't do this, and you're not gonna make these cards. So actually I was making them in secret for the first 3 years. But it was easy because I was just learning and reading and collecting the ideas and so on. But when we divorced, I just started immediately to paint, and that's when it started.
So you used all that emotion for the creation also.
Oh yeah, it was also like, fuck you to him.
A perfect way. Perfect way.
Yeah. I actually got a message from him a little while ago. I haven't heard many times from him. He was saying congratulations.
Okay.
And I'm touched. And if you are looking at this, I have nothing against you. I'm all appreciating and thank you.
And
you were my teacher.
And he didn't end up making his own deck.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
But I think he might be happy that he didn't, because it was kind of a huge task.
Yeah, it was a big task. Yeah.
I want to ask my question here also now that. What was the first card that you actually painted?
It was Ikuturso.
I'll show.
Yeah.
I'll put the Ikuturso here so you can see that.
Yeah.
Was it easy? Did it just come out easy?
I have seen that it's like a troll, leväpeikko troll that's made of seaweed.
Yeah, seaweed troll,
Yeah, from down under the sea. So I saw a dream where this kind of trolls were coming from the sea, and they were so real. I could, like, when I closed my eyes, I could see them in front of me. How did they look like, and so on. So that was a very huge inspiration for me to start to create the pictures. So I went to the library and I got some books about this Itämeri, the ocean that's next to Finland, our ocean or so that's around Finland. I got books about that, and especially about the seaweeds. So I started to look at the seaweeds, and I just I did it very quickly, the first one. It was just like 2 hours or something.
Okay.
Just like from one time, making it ready in one time. So, yeah, seaweeds was the inspiration.
Great.
Yeah.
So, cause now we started to talk about the creation process of the first card, I thought we would talk a bit about the art, because we actually had 2 people asking especially about the art. There are 2 questions from Claire, and the first one is, what is the medium used to paint the cards?
I used acrylic paintings and carbon. Is it carbon? Healing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
carbon. Yeah.
Carbon. Yeah. Drawings.
Or coal.
Oh, coal.
Charcoal, coal.
Yeah.
You guys know it, the grey stuff.
Yeah, you can write the right answer to us. I'm not sure, but you know the little pens that calc. No, what calc? Carbon. Carbon. Yeah.
Everybody knows that in my channel it's sometimes hard to figure out the English words. You can't speak Finnish, so we're good.
Yeah, so pretty much, yeah. Only those.
Yeah. And what was it, like a painting canvas or paper or
canvas? Yeah.
Canvas.
And some are paper works as well, with that carbon or whatever it is. Those are paper, but most are just like these sides of like
30 centimeters, 40 centimeters, roughly.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Some are a bit bigger, and at first I was making all kinds of like. I'm glad I didn't make a round one, but I had some like piece from some closet, some wooden piece that was just like this, and some other that was like woo this, and and when I was like gonna put them into the print and giving those pictures to my publisher, he was like, oh, what am I gonna do with these pictures? Like, Susanna, we're gonna cut this and we're gonna do this, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the standard size design.
Oh no, but when I realized that like later, too late actually, but luckily I had made the rest of them pretty much standard. But there are like some that are very funny sizes. Yeah. So if anyone is actually trying or thinking of making cards of your own, think of the size, think of the form that you're gonna make them. Don't make a
standardize, guys. Standardize.
Yeah. It's much easier, and you won't miss like the moose's head is missed here. Yeah. It's actually well, we can show this picture.
I can show the original printout for the Tuonelon and put it next to the one used in the printed version.
It's cut a little bit the head of the moose. I'm used to it now, but at first I was like,
yeah, it's like somebody's cutting your art.
My moose, no. But I can live with it now. I can live with it.
Compromises. Yeah. But that actually answered the second question about the size of the originals that Claire had. So then our lovely artsy Lennon asked some questions also. No big surprise to me that they were about the art. So Lennon was asking, what goes into the painting process? Do you have to sit with the archetypes for a while, or how was it?
I did. Some pictures were very easy, like the one I told, the Ikutur, so that just came from a dream, and I was painting it 2 hours and it was ready. Some were not that easy. I had to really like research first all the information that I can find of this subject, and then I was collecting also these like this sight or the visions that people had of these crazy creatures of the forest. In the archives there was these little notes, little story notes about all the elves and all kinds of different supernormal beings. Yeah,
the real people in Finland seeing, witnessing these actions
eyewitnessing,
happening.
Exactly. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, so there were like someone is describing pretty well that the little guy, he had a red horned head and he he had some.
Actually,
Yeah.
are those, because I know they are in the Finnish version,
Mm.
in the Ukonpakka book, but are those also included in the English? Because I haven't read it in English.
You mean those creatures?
No, I mean those, because there were these eyewitness statements also included here.
Yeah, those
Those-
are not
those
in
are
the
not.
English version.
Yeah,
and
but they
that's
are
a
in the
sad
Finnish.
thing. Yeah, they are in the Finnish version.
But at
It's
sometimes,
sad thing.
if I get bored with video topics, I can translate those to you in English, and it's gonna be amazing.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
I spent so many years with those notes and just laughing sometimes crying, and sometimes like, can it be real? But they had really like good. I got good ideas from there. How is Nakki gonna look like, or how is this?
I especially
creature?
love the one with Nakki. So I'm promising you guys, I'm gonna do a video about the eyewitness statement of this creature Nakki one day. So I'll try to translate it beforehand. I start free flowing the video, but so you get to know what we are talking about in the Finnish book.
Yeah. But to go back to the question, I was very much sitting with the archetypes. For example, Nakki. I have painted that picture at my parents' summer place, where I have been since I was a kid. And there is a little river, and there is that stone that Nakki is sitting on. The stone is in the river, and I was there, like in that place, painting the stone first. Yeah. So I went to sauna. And I was talking to Nakki, because the story that you're gonna tell about Nakki, one of those is that Nakki comes with the fiddle, and he's gonna teach you how to play if you go there by midnight, and so on.
Yeah.
And also you can meet Nakki or the devil. You can meet them in sauna if you go there by midnight or at some time. So I went and I was talking to Nakki, and I said, "Show yourself to me." And I saw him. I saw that creature in my mind. I didn't see him he's sitting there, in my mind, and I started to make a drawing of him. Yeah, and that's the first version of Nakki. Actually, we can show that first version too, because I think that is in here. That I made that picture in the sauna talking with Nakki.
I'm gonna put that picture there. But funny you picked up this Nakki story, because when I was reading the Finnish version of the book, it was kind of the card, and it resonated a lot with me, and it brought some childhood memories to me.
Yeah.
And I really loved the way, and that's why I wanted to ask, that were they included there, but I'll show you guys.
And I think Nakki really is living in that river, because I have some witnesses of it. My uncle once lost his glasses, yes, and Nakki just took them. They were washed to the river and never found. And that's what Nakki does.
Yeah, Nakki isn't the nicest guy.
No.
No. So what about, I want to add on top of Lennon's question, that was there a difference between creating the archetypes in major arcana and in the minor? Were there differences?
Yeah, there was lots of differences, because the minor arcana that I studied in the archive, the National Archive of Finland, with those little notes that I was telling, I created those cards based on those notes about those creatures that people had seen, or the tales that were in there. And then the major arcana was about Kalevala, more about Kalevala. So that meant that I was dealing with books and books and books. Books explaining what is Kalevala, and books like around Kalevala. And then after I had read like tons of those books that explain what is Kalevala and what are the stories and so on, then I could actually grab onto that real Kalevala book and read it. And now I actually do understand it very well, because I have the knowledge that I then had. But it was very difficult, because Kalevala is poems. It's just poems and poems and poems. That is not like that easy.
Yeah, and the language is
It's
hard.
so
It's old Finnish.
So old.
It's not.
Nobody speaks like that.
No, the words are weird,
No.
and the language is old, and then it's a poem, so it is a challenging book.
Yeah.
But actually, that's what I realized today when we met and had a short discussion before we started this interview, that the major arcana and the guys are from the Kalevala. You can show your huge Kalevala.
Yeah,
she has bigger than mine. I showed you.
Totally big Kalevala.
That's a monstrous. That's bigger than mine. That
I think it's like 700 pages at least, or maybe 1,000 even. Yeah, 600 and something.
I'll show you also pictures. I'll add here.
Pictures, yeah.
Yeah, add pictures here from this Kalevala, so you see a different version. But what I even didn't realize, because I'm a Finn, and all these folklores and the creatures from folklores like Näkki, they are not from Kalevala.
Oh no, they are not from there at all. Kalevala is more about these guys, the heroes, Väinämöinen, Lemminkäinen, Ilmarinen, Louhi, those, and the story of them. But there are not Näkki, or they are not like water creatures or forest creatures in that way that they are in the archives. There is actually one point where Vetehinen, the water creature, it comes from the water, but it's just a lame little poem there. It's like it comes from the water, it traps on the boat, and it goes back to the water. So there's not really much of a card there.
So that made me realize that how huge the work has been, because it's not just Kalevala, the teeny tiny 1,000-page book, but on top of that, Susanna has added the stories in our mythology, the folklores, and all these creatures that our grandmoms, not our parents anymore so much, but the grandmas and the old ladies were warning the kids about. Don't trust Näkki and those guys. So it's a combination of Kalevala and then the Finnish folklore.
Yeah, it's so true.
And then Lennon was also interested about what medium you use, but that we covered already and concluded that if anybody does it, standardize your job. And then Lennon was also asking that, did you use reference photos or did you just go off with intuition? So I think,
yeah, sometimes I did use those photos and for help me to like the seaweeds, for example, because I didn't really know how would they actually look like and what kind of seaweeds are growing in the ocean. So I did use books and internet to have those inspirational pictures, but some of them are from my dreams. So that's the only inspiration then, that I had seen this creature in my dream. How will it look like in the end? And actually I did use for those cards like the mother of Lemminkäinen.
Yeah.
I did use this one old book, or the book is not that old, but these people are old that the book is telling about. These viimeiset runonlaulajat, and it's like the last poem singers. So Kalevala, before it was written down, it was a living, they were talking and singing these poems from generation to generation to generation, hundreds of years.
Or oral tradition, as most of the folklore, like in Scandinavia, also.
Yeah, so this book is about those dudes that were still the last ones that actually were like having the tradition alive. Now it's dead, it's completely dead, because of the wars came, the world wars and all. So and we just kind of Finnish people just started to be in a different level. We didn't talk about those old things that much anymore. We were more like, oh, I want a TV and I'm gonna look some Hollywood movies and just forget about those Näkki stories and such. And those are so childish and so. But I wanted to use like pictures of the real people who have been singing these songs as inspirational pictures with the cards. So I didn't come up with those people just from my head. For example, Väinämöinen is here in the book. We can
I can show you these reference pictures better. I'll take pictures. But
there is a like whole page of nothing but Väinämöinen.
Yeah.
I mean, every old guy must have looked like that at the time, and they all had this kantele and the beard and this very serious look in the eye. I can just imagine how serious they are. But yeah, and so Väinämöinen is definitely one of these guys here, and so is the mother of Lemminkäinen is in here. There, these other were the crying women. They had the tradition that they were crying in funerals, and they had like crying songs. I guess that's the right term. So they were also like holders of the old tradition. So, for example, Lemminkäinen's mother is here. This
she looks
Ogulina Mäkinen. Yeah.
Exactly like her.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful homage to those people in the tradition.
Yeah.
To paint them into the pictures.
Mm-hmm. I did a lot of research on these people too, and like when I was in the archives, I was very much thinking, how am I gonna paint the pictures, like that come to Kalevala, and there's some human there in the picture. What am I gonna dress them like, and how are they gonna look like, and what is the appearance of them? So I went through a lot of research also on that side. So I tried to find like real clothings and such that they might have actually had at the time.
And you did an amazing job.
Thanks. Thank you.
Then I thought that when we were talking about those crying women, there, which is an old tradition, or was an old tradition in Finland, and kind of it's not a shamanistic, but in a way I think it goes to the same drawer with those type of stuff. Yeah. And we had a question from Julianne asking that I'd like to know what, if any, is Susanna's experience with shamanism, and if the deck creation was influenced by her own experiences with shamanism, with nature spirits, or her own personal spiritual practice.
It's all included in the, I mean, the cards are telling my own spiritual pathway in a way. I have like had these shamanistic experiences, yes, and I have a shaman drum. I saw that drum in my dream. I have a very clear like dream vision. I see a lot of dreams, and for the whole process when I was making this deck, I was guided. I mean, when I was struggling with some subject and I was like, what is this kakki? I said, what can they mean? What can they mean? And then I just, somehow I could hear a voice that just tells me the right answer. And I just write it down like this. I felt like I didn't do this just by myself. It might sound a little weird, but that's my experience, that I got help. I got helped a lot and guided, and I think that's a shamanistic thing. But like my pathway is also with some ghosts. I see some ghosts sometimes. They just come to my dream and tell their story, but it's not that scary anymore because it's been going on for so long. And my grandpa, my grandfather, he died in 2015. So I saw him in a dream. He came to say, because in the funeral, it was a very sad thing that I didn't see him before he died. I didn't see him in many years because our family was not that well going on with him because of the past, what they had in the family business. But when he died, I was supposed to go to visit him, but I didn't go. So I saw him as a dead body in the funeral. My aunt was like lifting up the
casket.
Yes, so that we could see him. And oh yeah, he came to my dream after that, and he was mad. He was mad. He had his own body with him in a body bag that he was carrying, and he was like kicking me like, you fool, now do you want to see, and opening that, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry. But then he was like, okay, well, that's okay. But then I saw this dream that he was this like washing the papers of our family, or the whole family, like my aunts and cousins and everybody. And it looked like those studios that you make old-fashioned photos in those liquid boxes, and you hang them in the string. So he had those art papers on the string, and he was like, Susanna, come, and I want to show you this. And he showed my paper, and there was a circle, a red circle there. And he said, Susanna, you have the shamanistic skill, so use it. And he was like, not like, it was like a command, you have to use it, he said that. And that's, I'm still figuring out how to use it. I mean, it's not in my hands. I do have the skill, but it's more like it comes when it comes, and it goes when it goes, and I can't just go on and, press a button in my head and start to visualize everything. But surely in dreams and in shaman, like with shaman drummings and
the drum journeys.
Drum journeys, that kind of things are very easy for me because I have very clear vision mind.
Yeah,
I see so many like dreams, and also it's easy to picture things with my mind.
Funny thing, I'm actually here in Helsinki doing a shamanistic basic course, and this whole day I've been doing several drum journeys, and that's why I look exhausted. but I didn't know that about you, so really interesting.
Yeah.
Great questions, thanks guys. But let's continue and jump to another subject. So then I'm going to jump back to Claire's questions. She was asking, is there a particular initiation journey in the myths that you choose for this deck?
Well, there is many myths of Kalevala in the deck, so I think maybe almost all of the myths are in the deck. So it's in a way the whole deck is one initiation journey, as they all are. I think that Rider-Waite, and they have that like initiation story there. But in these cards there is some difference, because the dudes actually do have this like initiation in the cards. So that, for example, this Lemminkäinen, this one guy, Hanni will show you better pictures of these, so you don't have to see them so clearly now. But this guy, for example, he is going to Pohjola, the gold village in the north, and he wants to marry the daughter of Pohjola, and this is the mother, the Louhi. And Louhi, the mother of that girl, gives those impossible tasks for Lemminkäinen, and those are initiations. Each one of them. For example, at first he has to ski this elk of Hiisi. Catch the elk of Hiisi by skiing, and that's an old tradition in Finland, that we ski after elks. We did that, when we were hunters, and so I think maybe even now sometimes they do ski, because it's much easier to catch a really big elk at the winter time, when the elks, the legs go through the snow. That's really hard for them to go on, and the guys after the elk they just slide on top of the snow layer with the skis. So that's the task that Lemminkäinen has, and that's an initiation task that the elk of Hiisi, it means your mind that's running like a supernormal animal, like back and forward and to the future, to the past, to yesterday, to tomorrow, anywhere but now. Yeah.
Kind of the monkey mind that the meditation people talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So Lemminkäinen had to first get control of his mind. And then the second challenge was the horse of Hiisi, that he had to run this super crazy wild horse, like a demon horse with the tail and hair on fire, and he had to ride the horse. And that's about taking control of your sexual powers and your body, and controlling your these wills, and making your body to be your best friend, so you can function in the world and so on. So it's about success, the card. But the last one was to shut down the swan of Tuonela, the swan here in the picture, in the book cover too, and that's a soul bird. So Lemminkäinen did try to shoot the bird. He didn't manage, because he died himself that time at the river of Tuonela. Tuonela is the place where the dead live in Finnish folklore. So at the river of Tuonela there is the swan, and it cannot be killed because it's a soul bird. It represents that undying soul of everyone. It's in Finnish mythology. It's in the form of a bird very often. I think in many others too, other mythologies. So Lemminkäinen dies himself. But no worries, because he has the super best mom. Super best Lemminkäinen's mother. And she has the vision. She is so psychic, and she knows now something is wrong, and she goes to the river of Tuonela, and she gets the pieces of Lemminkäinen's body. It's been cut in pieces, she has to really collect all the pieces of the dead son, and then she starts to recreate the son again, Lemminkäinen, and so on, and then Lemminkäinen comes to life, and with the help of a honeybee. That's one of the cards too. So they are very much related, the cards and the tales, with each other, and they have this growing stories there, and these challenges of Louhi and this kind of initiation stuff.
And I find it so interesting because, for example, the story of his mother creating him is kind of like the story of Isis and Osiris.
Oh, it's exactly.
And think about, nobody back then here up in Finland knew anything about mythology in Egypt. So
it's
how
true.
all the different cultures around the world, like shamanic practices, they are so similar from time where people didn't travel like that, and they didn't have the internet or anything. So how kind of inbuilt things those are, no matter what culture people are coming, but these are something so rooted in the human race.
I even think it's so that we have some kind of this. What is this in English? I have like all the people have a mind together, like a collective kind of
conscious.
Collective consciousness, and we just those people who have the skill, they have the shamanistic skill, they can go to that. What did I just say? The collective mind, and they can carry some information back. And the same information can be carried in a different side of the whole world. There is another dude who has the same ability, and he can go there and catch the same fish. So I think something like that must be.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, it must be. And actually, there is a funny story in these cards about Antero Vipunen. It's a gigantic, like a rock face in the forest, that has the old wisdom inside of him, and Väinämöinen goes to that Antero Vipunen and he drops into his mouth. There's actually a funny picture, we will show this to you at this, when Väinämöinen is actually gonna drop into Antero Vipunen's mouth there, and he gets this long ago missed information, and he gets it from Antero Vipunen, and then Väinämöinen starts to bring that old wisdom to people. So that to me is like it says that in the story that this information is not lost. It's in Antero Vipunen's mouth and in his body, and he's there. And when Väinämöinen, the shaman of the deck, goes to Antero Vipunen, he gets that information from him. So I think that's possible.
And again, comparison from the Scandinavian mythology, when Odin drops in the Mimir's will or hangs himself on the tree to get the runes or anything, but just tap into that information. I think more about the Mimir's will is closer, but so much connecting points.
Yeah,